Of course, judging by the thumbnail and the title of this video, there's no mistaking this Bronco Raptor as a normal one. There is so much new stuff on this product and it looks like it belongs in the next Transformers movie. I have come to love living with this Bronco Raptor. I've taken it from the nice, clean, pristine exterior to looking like this, and every step along the way this vehicle has felt so much more capable than I am. Feels like it really is Ford's next supercar. And the first thing right off the bat is that this feels like the most dual personality vehicle I've ever driven. I have been driving this in my regular day-to-day commute. If you keep this thing under 2,500 revs, if you never turn the steering more aggressively than this, to drive, it feels not just like a normal Bronco, but like really any other SUV. The transmission is totally invisible. It's reasonably quiet. Yes, you probably hear some ruffling with the wind because of these removable panels, and the V6 in here does rumble a little bit, but in the quiet exhaust mode it's really not taxing, and it just overall feels like Ford has developed this car so that if you were to just be driving it in the most boring of circumstances, it will do that no complaints. But if you wanted to be a little bit an idiot and have fun on your commute, you can rock the steering back and forth like this and you just be bouncing around and hit the brakes a little, do like some cadence braking, and it's funny. Just driving this car, if you want to be an idiot, as I often proclaim to be and more often proven to be, you can do some pretty stupid stuff in this, but Ford has engineered this so that you don't really get yourself into a lot of trouble. For example, if you want to floor it with the 418 horsepower, 440 pound-feet of torque that you have, and might as well put it in the loud exhaust mode to demonstrate that to you. No question you pick up speed, but if you do that from a stop, the traction control is intervening a lot. It is fighting those 37-inch all-terrain KO tires on the regular, and if you ever want to try to hurl this car hard into a corner, again, the traction control does step in. After taking it off-road and having some fun trying out the different GOAT modes, such as off-road and Baja, if the screen says initially traction control is off, it isn't. It still intervenes. You have to hold down on the button up here to really truly turn it off. I'll go further into off-road driving in a minute, but let's continue just talking about some of the other changes with this product. So a wider track, you've got the Fox Live dampers that you'll find in the F-150 Raptor. Overall, almost every body panel on this product is different. I believe the front doors are the same. You have an exoskeleton to hold on to the heavier wheel and tire combo there for the swinging outwards tailgate. And one of the original complaints I had with the Bronco is that rear visibility a little bit tight. Here, even tighter, given that you have a bigger tire, a chunkier, meatier component for the bracket attachment. There's extra structural bracing. I couldn't find a number to see if it's any stiffer than what the normal Bronco is, but you can see that the additional bracing back there is impeding visibility. Add onto that the Code Orange graphics pack with the stickers along the window. I don't actually find myself really checking the blind spot all that much in this product, because if I think someone's behind me, just pin it, get another 100 meters down the road, and then you know you've got all that space to yourself. The 3-litre twin-turbo V6 isn't sonorous. I'd actually say it's quite gravelly. Do like the turbo spool-off noises though. You can feel that and hear that quite evidently, even in the quiet exhaust mode. Opening up this active exhaust in the off-road mode, the Baja mode, you can get a lot deeper of a noise, but I don't think it becomes any more sophisticated. Like the normal Bronco, the Raptor feels like it has very stable steering, and that was one of the biggest advantages that it had over the Jeep Wrangler. Really, its only true rival is where the front end for a Wrangler feels a little shaky at times, a little disconnected. This has never once felt that. It feels like it steers true on track and never throws out any surprises. The suspension is floaty but not soft. You will feel the impacts if you go over rough bits of road, like this choppy bit of highway here, all the tar snakes, but it doesn't ever feel like you're punished by the ride. Another big change over the normal Raptor are these Raptor specific seats. They're not made by Recaro that you see a lot of seats in Ford performance products, and they feel okay. I wouldn't mind them actually being a little bit tighter for my 200-pound 6'4" frame, but they'll do. Not ventilated, which might be a little bit of a miss. I'm surprised that, given a vehicle of this price point and what you're going to be doing a fair amount in, that it doesn't have that feature. Not the end of the world though. Let's shift the focus now to the interior, because if you are spending the amount of money that you are to own this product, you're not getting 130 grand's worth of quality grade leather, but everything about this cabin feels special. The combination of materials, the different textures, and it feels very solid. There's absolutely no mistaking this for a normal Bronco on the outside or the inside, and even at night. Different lighting package. Fundamentally, being in here, you feel special. You're obviously constantly reminded with the badges of the Raptor throughout. You can see them here on the seats, the steering wheel, the center console, and even out on the bonnet. It's the combination of the suede on the seats, the carbon fiber, this optional package on the steering wheel, the shifter, the collection of colors throughout this cabin that never makes it feel like you have a dull moment behind the wheel. A final compliment to the regular commuting driving is that the Bang & Olufsen system does a seriously impressive job, given that there's no speakers in the door cards. It's able to fill this space quite readily. Might not be the most refined sound at the top end, but the volume, but you don't need to crank the volume, distort the music for it to fill this space. To talk briefly about its off-road capability, I'll make it very clear that I am not an off-roading kind of person. Don't really know what I'm doing. I just love putting my foot hard on the throttle, turning the wheel hard, keeping the thumbs out, and hoping for the best. This is definitely a product that is much more capable than I am. 13 inches of suspension travel up front, 14 in the back. When you go to the off-road modes and you engage those live dampeners, it becomes a much more rigid platform. Like the name Bronco, it does seem to buck a little bit at the back if you're going on some really rutted terrain. Never anything unpredictable happened in my time off-roading. Ford is more pitching the Bronco Raptor as a rock crawler, where the F-150 Raptor is more like its Desert Stormer, but you can still go at very high pace in this thing. Feels totally stable, nothing scary, unpredictable ever came about. Feels like it absorbs everything that comes its way. The only faults I found with off-roading actually came from my passengers saying that they wished they had grab handles up along the frame of the car, instead of it being these two grab handles for the front passenger, and really anybody in the second row just has to grip onto the back of the seats. They wish they had something on here to hold onto in those bottom clenching moments of off-road driving. A fair judgment, and I think Ford could implement that in a future update, or at least I hope they do. And it might just be this specific vehicle I'm driving now, but the waterproofing wasn't perfect. You can see along the back there were moments where some muddy, dripping water was finding its way through into the cabin, but I have never taken the doors off, I never took the roof off, so there's not a perfect seal on this particular model. Definitely be conscious of that. Another aspect to commuting is parking. I never once thought that it was difficult parking the Raptor, even despite its much wider fender flares. But every time you would go into a parking stall, you would see that you really didn't have much space to give either side. You do have to be quite intentional every time you want to park this thing up. As I conclude this video on the highway, this is certainly where the Bronco Raptor is at its weakest, as you would expect. It's a little bit shaky, a little bit of wind noise, and certainly not the most fuel efficient thing, but that just doesn't matter. What matters is, does this product, its intended purpose, exceed at that intended purpose? And this has blown me away driving this product. I have loved every second of it. Getting it as filthy as I have, I wish I could do it every single day. If you're wanting a Bronco, this is a very clear step up over the top grade of the normal Broncos, which is this time filming is currently the Wild Track. I've loved living with, playing with, and just looking at this product. It's made me feel special, and if you bought one, I don't think that charm will wash away anytime soon. So once again, congratulations to Ford for not only engineering an incredibly capable car, but as I said earlier, such a brilliant dual personality where if you just don't want to be irritated by tire noise, you don't want to be sort of bogged down by a springy ride, it can do your regular drive into the office, no complaints, and then just be a filthy animal on the weekends, taking it off-roading. So thank you very much for taking the time to watching this video. Hope you got something out of it, and I hope to see you again on the channel soon.